Hey.
Hi, everybody.
What is going on?
Happy afternoon.
Gosh, what day is it? Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. And we just had a bunch of bloopers, so I wish we could have been filming because it was quite comical. So maybe we'll have to one day just let it roll.
Yeah.
But today we are going to talk about conflict. Everyone's favorite subject. Yay!
Confrontation.
Yeah. Not, right? Running away, whatever it may be. So we figure, let's talk about this. So,
well, let me kind of start because this was a big deal for me. I smile a lot. I'm this happy-go-lucky guy. And I don't like confrontation. When confrontation's coming, when it's setting in through people, through the team, through whatever, I used to run away. I used to avoid it. I used to go, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to make the phone calls. I don't want to call that person out. I don't want to forgive. I don't want to do all these things. And I would just try to brush it under the rug. And
Right.
you would call me out at it all the time. You're like, Tony.
I did. You have to confront.
Yeah, you have to handle this.
Yeah.
If you don't...
Anybody else like Tony and hate confrontation? If you are, give us mega ones right now. Because you're just people that would kind of just go all the way around it and somehow it just magically disappears. Poof. That's how sometimes you acted, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And because I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to address it. I didn't know. I was so uncomfortable. And I'm like, God, this makes me so uncomfortable to do this. And I'm so scared. Just be happy. Just be nice. Just let the situation get better, please.
Shannon, I love you. Shannon's I can't give you a 1. Girl, I know. You confront there's no other. So I love that you confront and you deal with conflict. So we're actually going to do a 2-part thing today, just a couple minutes. We don't want to drag this on forever, but we thought, well, gosh, how about we talk about how to handle conflict and how to kind of work through that kind of conflict resolution, whether it's in a work relationship, whether it's in a marriage, whether it's in a friendship, how to go about that. So, so we are, thank you, Angela. You're so sweet. So we're going to talk about 3 things today on kind of how to handle that and kind of how to work through it. So the first thing I think that's super important is to really identify your goal, before you confront, right? And I think it's important that as you go into, a conversation with someone, that especially if it's a work relationship, knowing that you're both moving towards that same common goal, right? And so if you go in there on the, defensive or have them go on the defensive right away, it's going to probably not work out right. So I think it's important to really kind of go in and, we really believe in kind of a house divided doesn't stand, right? And so we want to go in there, with just the right motive in our heart, and going in there and just knowing that, really at the end of the day, you just want to work through this because you both want the same thing, right? With Tony and I, if we have conflict together, we know at the end of the day, we both want our marriage to work. Yeah. And so going in there the right way with that goal, I think is super important before you even start it at all, right?
Yeah, I agree. And the second thing I would do is forgiveness is everything. Mm-hmm. Forgiveness is such a powerful word. Forgiveness is so strong, and you need to forgive that person before you have that conversation with that person, because they're probably really tense and they know a conversation is coming, and they probably got a heavy heart and all these different things as well. So if you forgive that person before you have that conversation, if you get that energy right and you drop all that uncomfortableness right away and you really forgive them, you release that, you clear the decks, your conversation will be 10 times better, 10 times smoother. It's easier to communicate then. It's easier to have this talk. It's easier than to really have an open conversation. And we've seen that so many times, haven't we, when we forgived?
Well, yeah, we forgived. You're so cute. I love my husband. Honey, you're so funny. Forgived. I love that. Okay. Oh, I love it. It's so cute. Okay. I think it's really important that you forgive. Otherwise, I think you can easily go in. Either one of us can go into that situation that we're working on with this whole list of all the things that everything that's gone wrong with each other, right? I mean, you can go into that immediately, and it just again, it's like walking in and just being prepared for, dealing with that conflict, I think is super important. And I think the third thing would be like really to set a tone for like encouragement, right? Saying something nice about them, just being specific, like right before you kind of go in and talk about that. I think that it's a lot easier for us to go in before we talk about that conflict about anything. And I'd rather build somebody up and then just kind of work through it and talk about the things that I love about them and what I love about us, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, if I'm working with that person, if I'm married to Tony, if it's a friendship, whatever it may be, just kind of working into that. And I just think that's, it's just everything before you actually deal with that conflict and that confrontation, which I don't think we're going to talk about on this video. I think we're going to do it tomorrow. Is that right? Are we going to save it or should we go through it?
Yeah, well, I just want to say another thing too, because a big thing is taking responsibility and really owning your part in the conflict and saying you're sorry and asking for forgiveness. And don't brush your side under the rug. Don't forget about your side. If you had a part, which we all have a part, own it. Take it. Say, hey, I am sorry.
Be the first to say, hey, I screwed up. Like, I've learned that now where I'm just like, I'm not afraid to say that, like, I blew it, because most people aren't willing to be able to put their ego in their back pocket and say they blew it, and I'm just like, I blew it. Like, I don't have any excuses. Like, I did it, you know what I mean? And I think just owning up to that is so important. I think, too, building that bridge with someone where it's like, just asking them, like, when you are in that conflict, ask them, like, hey, so what do you think the best resolution is for this? Like, how do you think we can fix this, right? Yeah. Like, I think as women, we can easily go down the rabbit hole and we can, like, draw out all these different things and hem and haw about, like, why we're not happy or what's up, you know what I mean? Like, girls, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to talk about this on here. You know where I'm going with this. Versus just saying, hey, listen, so how can we solve this? Like, what do you think would be the best thing for us to do? Yeah. Like, how do we make it work on both sides? We both not might be happy about it, right away. But, like, what do you think that we could do between us, right? Like, how do we, like, let's kind of deep dive into that. And I think that because you don't go in there saying, hey, this is what we need to do, this is how we need to fix it, like, people automatically get on the defense, but say, hey, what do you think that we should do, right? And I actually even parent a little bit like this too. So I know there's a bunch of parents that are on here, but I kind of parent that way with my kids, where I'm like, if there's a situation that happens, instead of kind of getting on them, I'm like, hey, so, what do you think we should do about this? Like,
actually, 5. Yeah. Think about these. Think about how you can start using them, implementing them, and helping you handle conflict.
Yep, exactly.
See ya.
Have a great one, guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye.